Okay, thank you, Moderator Dinda. For all JCI members, let's recite our JCI vision, mission, and creed together with me. JCI vision, to be the leading global network
global number
of young active citizens. And JCI mission, to provide development
opportunities
to empower young people
young people
to
to
create
create
positive change.
positive change.
And JCI creed, we believe that faith in God
faith in God gives
gives meaning
and
and
purpose
purpose
to
to human
human
life.
life.
The human life.
We
The
believe that the
brotherhood
brotherhood of man
and
transcends the
the
sovereignty
sovereignty
of
of
nations.
nations.
Of nations.
We believe that economic justice
Economic justice can best
can
be
best be
won
won
by
by
free
free
men
men through
By
free
free men
through
through
free
free
enterprise.
enterprise.
We believe
We
that the
believe
government
that
should be of
government
laws
should be of laws rather
rather
of
than of
men.
men.
Of men.
We believe that Earth's great
That
treasure
Earth's treasure
lies in human personality.
human personality,
We believe that service to
and that service
humanity
to humanity
is
is
the best work of life.
It's
Thank you.
Thank you for Mr. Rob William for read for Vision and Mission JCI Creed. And we will like also for a welcome speech from 2020 National President JCI Indonesia yaitu Michael Sanjaya. Okay, Michael Sanjaya, please welcome speech. And also, what is JCI?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for President Chiara Milani for attending this event, support this event. Thank you for local President LP Beni, Charter President Istia, and President Alec. Thank you for attending this event. I'm happy to be here to attend this event. I'm happy to see the collaboration between two chapters. This potential chapter, JCI Femme, is very active, and I wish both of these relation and get more members and get more impact. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for for Michael Sanjaya. And welcome speech from our founder JCI Fame include 2019 JCI President. It's Alexander Tio. Please, Alexander Tio, for a welcome speech for us.
Hello, dear members, National President, Chapter Presidents, and of course, my very own Madam President Kiara. By the way, Kiara was the world president when I was the national president in 2013. And thank you so much, Madam, for hosting, being able to give advice and trainings for these members on how to grow in this organization. As you you are a role model for a lot of these members, how from member to become the JCI president. And I hope that you can share with them how all of us senior members, if I may, learn and grow from this organization from when we were young till we are 40 years old and over. Myself, thank you so much, of course, Chapter President JCI Femme and Jayakarta. Madam President, just a light note that it so happened that I was and I am the founder of these two chapters, and Jayakarta now has grown to membership of over 50 to 60 members with a very stable financial, meaning that their membership dues is about $300 and is able to cover their chapter's expenses and grow, create events. JCI Femme is still a potential chapter. I actually gave birth to JCI Femme during these Corona times. I'm very proud that even in Corona times, we are able to recruit membership. And That's why I sometimes, when I give seminar to other national organization, I tell them that Corona is not an excuse for the organization not to grow, and I can say that because I proved that during the Corona times. So, but with that all said, members, I hope you would learn a lot, as I have learned a lot from Madam Kiara in 2013. And the biggest part of this organization is about leadership. And there's no other better way to learn leadership than to learn from somebody who have shown and walked that journey. And mentorship is a very big part of this. Members, ask as many questions as you want, you can. And what do you expect? I'm sure that Madam Kiara can be a good example. Also, Madam Kiara, this chapter, JCI Femme, is an all-female chapter. It's the very first all-female chapter in Indonesia. And they were asking me about projects, and I said, well, you know what? I was the very lucky national president to have the JCI third woman president in that year. And that year, we learned a lot about projects regarding women empowerment. And as well, just as maybe an intermezzo, is that during my presidency candidate in 2018, the question that Madam President asked me was about addressing gender equality issue. I'm sure Madam Kiara remember that. And that's why my color was pink last year. And that's why the boys wear pink and the women wear blue. After this, you can elaborate on this with the Madam Kiara. Well, with that said, thank you so much, everyone. Please enjoy the session. Thank you very much, host. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alexander Tio, for welcome speech. And for next welcome speech, it's from local President JCI Jayakarta. It's Mr. Benny. Please, Mr. Benny, to speech for this moment.
Thank you, moderator. Welcome our National President Michael Sanjaya, Password President Chiara and Alexander Tio, and our Charter President of JCI Femme Istia. Greeting to all JCI members from all Indonesia. And I'm honored to have Password President Chiara to be our speaker today. Thank you for JCI Femme for the collaboration and congratulations on being able to host a different online project during this pandemic. And I believe today all of us can learn how to grow in an international organization. And JCI Jayakarta is always ready to support gender equality and women empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benny. Okay, for Charter President JCI Femme, Istia Sofiania, please welcome speech.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, all participants, and good afternoon, 2020 National President JCI Indonesia, Michael Sanjaya, and our founder of JCI Femme, as well as 2019 JCI President Alexander Tio, and 2013 JCI President Chiara Milani, who is also a speaker at this event today. Thank you, past President, for your time. And also, good afternoon, local President JCI Jayakarta, Mr. Benny, and JCI members who are present today. My name is Istia Sofiania, Charter President JCI Femme. JCI Femme is a local chapter that was just formed in April this year. JCI Femme is a space empowering women. So that today even, we also want to learn about female leadership from a past president of JCI, Chiara Milani. President Chiara Milani is a figure that we really admire, and hopefully there will be a successor born from JCI Femme. I personally also say thank you very much to JCI Jayakarta for the collaboration. Hopefully collaboration this can continue going forward. At the end, I say congratulations and continuing the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Istia Sofiania. So another for project director report is a local executive vice president Ara Lolita. Can you please speak for us too?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome our special guest today, National President JCI Indonesia, Michael Sanjaya. 2013 JCI President Chiara Milani, 2019 JCI President Alexander Tio, who is also founder of JCI Femme, local President JCI Jayakarta Mr. Benny Kusnadi, and then the last Charter President JCI Femme is Tia Sofiani. Thank you for joining. As mentioned before, my name is Era Lolita from JCI Femme, Potential Chapter, and one and only ladies chapter in Indonesia. Today, I'm as the project director in collaboration with JCI Jayakarta chapter. At this opportunity today, I want to say thank you so much to local president Mr. Benny and LBOD of JCI Jayakarta for the opportunity to work together. We hope that this collaboration will continue in the near future, and also, of course, we would like to say thank you so much to Password President Chiara Milani for her time. Hope today event it can provide benefit for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you for Vice President, local executive Vice President Era Lolita. And now we can talk about background of Chiara Milani. Chiara Milani is nominated by JCI Italy, was elected at 2013 as Junior Chamber International President at the 2020 JCI World Congress held in Taipei and Taiwan. And also she is a professional certificate in journalism. And in 2003, Milani received a special recognition as Reporter of the Year. Not only that, since 2004, she has served as Vice Director of News for Read 55, a local television station in Milan, Italy. In 2011, Milani began conducting a weekly broadcast highlighting the contribution of women's societal development on the local level. Milani joined JCI Secretary General in 2004, serving as JCI Italy President in 2009. 2011, Milani was appointed the Presidential Assistant for Europe for JCI President Kentaro Harada. So she has been honored as JCI Senator as is Bill Pugsley donor to the JCI Foundation. President Milani will help members realize their own potential for making the world. Okay, now we come back to Chiara Milani. Are you there?
Yes, of course. Can you watch me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, can me
Oh,
try again?
So
Yeah.
now you can talk about your experience the whole time for joining JCR organization, and also what the advantage that you get, so we can share to everyone, and what the good advantage, the best out of it. Thank you, Chiara.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon.
As we say in JCI, all protocol observed. I would like really to thank you for this invitation, because it's always a pleasure to have the opportunity to share my experience with the young and passionate JCI members, even more with all the due respect for our friends who are men, even more when I'm talking to so many ladies. It's very tough after such an introduction to keep the expectations that are so high, but I will try to do my best. A special thanks to President Alexander, because actually you cannot have a better founder of this chapter. Actually, both from the point of view of women empowerment and the growth of JCI. As he mentioned, I was serving as JCI president while he was serving as national president of JCI Indonesia. So I had the opportunity really to experience how he was able to grow this organization during that time. He somehow rebuilt, with all the due respect for the predecessors, he rebuilt JCI Indonesia. And, you know, as especially as woman, I can say that a birth is always something very special. A birth of a local organization is something that is very touching for my heart, but a birth of a local organization during coronavirus time is something really special. I don't want to say unique, because I hope there will be other local organizations founded during this challenging time, but for sure it is something very, very special. Of course, local organization of JCI Indonesia made up of all women means something, because it is really in challenging times that women prove that they are able to do, let's say, a further step. When I was elected president 2013, it was quite a challenging year. Of course, we are in 2020 during COVID-19 pandemic, so probably, honestly, President Itai Maniere as one of the toughest period to face, so I cannot complain regarding 2013, but it was quite a challenging year, let's say, because of many reasons. And I remember at the end of the year, someone told me, you know, I was wondering when you were elected, why JCI chose a woman for 2013, and now I realize a man couldn't have handled what you handled this year. So that's why JCI chose a woman in 2013. Of course, I'm joking, because I strongly believe that we should absolutely not be men against women, but men together with women hand in hand, especially during this tough time. And of course, this is a great opportunity, the opportunity to join JCI, both for men and women. Why? Well, let me tell you, as you mentioned, I'm a journalist. Just in my own province, which is not even 1 million inhabitants, we have more than 3,000 organizations, cultural organizations, sport organization, fun organization, whatever. But there's no other organization such as JCI that can provide you growth opportunity at local, national, and international level. And this is something really, really unique, especially during this challenging time that the world is facing, because we can really see we are all on the same boat. You know, so it's very important to have an international network now more than ever, but we also know that impact is created first at local level, then at national level, and then at international level. But this is not all in terms of growth, because something unique that also JCI provide is the opportunity to grow on the 3 pillars of your life. As well as we say, there are 3 pillars in the society. You know, this is business, of course, government, and civil society. These 3 pillars are necessary, are needed to keep the society stable. Down, we still have other 2 legs which keep us up. It's like the tripod, you know. Now everybody's using smartphones, but in the past, when there was the old camera, you need a tripod to keep it stable. And the same is for our life. We needed to grow from a personal, private point of view, a business, professional point of view, and a social point of view. So all these 3 pillars of our life are very important, because there will be a moment in which, of course, you will be more focused on one pillar instead of the other. As you can imagine, when I was serving as JCI president, I had to do some choices regarding my personal life. I was and I am very lucky because I married an outstanding JCI senator whom I met in JCI, because this is another opportunity of JCI that nobody mentioned officially, but actually between 18 and 40 years old, this is also part of our life, you know, to build our family, and we should not be ashamed of saying it. So he was able to understand my passion for this organization, but of course I had to decide to, let's say, postpone my pregnancy because actually I got married in 2008. I was elected national president in 2009, vice president in 10, executive vice president 12, and of course JCI president 13, 14 immediate past president and Senate chairperson, so quite busy. Of course, then you have wonder people such as our fellow president Alexander Tio was able to get married exactly while serving as national president. And I remember I visited JCI Indonesia exactly while he was getting married. I attended his wedding, and I remember I told him, wow, you are a bit crazy, but this is really something special, you know, to host the JCI president during such a busy moment of your life. But the truth is that he was able to do it because JCI allow you to be able to manage more things at the same time. This is something very special, you know, because usually we tend to focus on one aspect. As I mentioned before, of course, in some moment you will put more attention on one pillar of your life and in another moment on the other. But we really need to keep the three pillars stable to be stable as human being. So, of course, JCI is something that you do as volunteer. So you need any way to work, okay? And you need any way to grow personally, maybe during your JCI terms of office, or of course you get married. Sometimes you also have a baby. Maybe if you are not traveling around the world 365 days is easier. But you need also to take care of this aspect. So you learn how to take care of different things in the same moment. And now more than ever, we understand how much being multitasking is important. Even more, again, I hope our fellow members who are men will not hate me if I say so, but even more for a woman, because this is the truth, and I want to be honest with you. Nowadays, I'm, of course, as we mentioned, I'm a journalist, so I have a daily TV show. I'm the editor-in-chief of a magazine, a multimedia magazine, and I have my husband, I have my kid who is 4 years old, and have to take care of all the things, also of my home, of course, of my parents who are getting older. You know, as women, we have really to be able to harmonize, let's say, many aspects of our life when we are so lucky, of course, to have all these people in our life, let's say. And so it's very important to be able to manage different things, to prioritize, so to understand, okay, in this moment, I must do this thing first. The day after, I can take care of another things, and so on. This is something that you learn when you have to manage projects, and this is how we learn in JCI. It's a learning by doing organization. This is why projects and programs are so important. Of course, I can tell you about wonderful, extraordinary projects done all over the world. When I was the national president in Italy, my fellow national president colleagues of JCI France had a great project regarding the thermography. So they were scanning the buildings to understand the temperature for the pollution, you know, of the environment. That was a great project, but made up with helicopters. And sometimes when you have a potential local organization, it's not so easy to organize such a big project with helicopters, which involves, of course, also plenty of money, to be honest. But anyway, you can do projects who are low-cost projects, but which have a high impact in the society. And then you grow in this way. Just yesterday, just to mention something very recent, in my hometown, they commemorate the victims of the atomic bomb. And they, of course, also commemorate the victims of the explosion in Beirut that just happened 2 days before. This was a project made up of JCI Varese, my local chapter, while I was national president. At that time, we were few people with just one rose, you know, in the civic temple, which is a permanent peace education center. But nowadays, the local administration is carrying on the project every year, and the local government, you know, and they always, of course, invite JCI members to talk during this ceremony, and they thank JCI members because they did this extraordinary idea to make the kickoff of a project that show to the local community that JCI members were related to members in Japan from the other side of the world, because they were part of an international network, and they wanted to remember the victims of the atomic bombs, you know. So it was something relevant for the community at that time, and the news in Asia told about our hometown, which is not Rome, you know, it's not the capital city of Italy. They talked about it because we were the first one to pray for the victims of the atomic. This was a low-cost project because there was no need of money to organize it. And it was important from a strategic point of view, because in this way we created the connection with the local government, which is still going on. Now, if you ask me nowadays, which is the top priority in the world, I will reply you honestly what I told also to our Secretary General at the beginning of the pandemic. Of course, the first aspect is health. Nowadays, we all realize how much health is important, but maybe it's not so easy for JCI members, because not all are doctors or nurses, you know, to support this health emergency. But the second big priority in the entire world is and will be in the next months the economic recovery. I know it very well because my hometown, my country, Italy, was hit in a severe way by the pandemic, and our economy is pretty destroyed. And I do believe that economic priority, economic recovery, will be one of the top priority of the world. Now, we know, according to the statistics, that very unfortunately, women were and are suffering because of the pandemic, also from an economic point of view, because based in so many countries in the world, many of them had to choose either you know, to take care of the children who couldn't go to school, and in some countries maybe are still facing this challenge, or if they can go on working. And also when it comes the time to fire people, which is something very sad to say, but it's the tough truth, very often employers decided to keep men and not women, because women also have to take care of the family. So sometimes maybe they lose some working days because the kid is ill, or the old parents are. So actually, according to UN statistics, and not just UN, but many statistics in the world, women are suffering all around the world, also from an economic point of view, and this means a social point of view, because we know the two things are very related because of what is happening related to the pandemic. So if you ask me, of course, choose your own project based on your local need, but I believe that something that a potential local organization can do in this moment, especially if it is made up of women, is really trying to create a project to empower women in the economic field to recover faster also from this point of view. Of course, we know that in order to do it, we must put together the three pillars of the society that we mentioned before, so government, business, and civil society. But this is also a great opportunity, not just to do something good for our gender, but also to learn things, to be in contact maybe with the mayor of your country, with the chamber of commerce of your local community, with the key person in the society that of course can be strategic also for your own professional growth. So when we grow and we talk about growth, we must always keep in mind that as President Alexander Thiaw said when I interviewed him in my TV show, being an entrepreneur can mean being a bad entrepreneur or a good entrepreneur. A good entrepreneur is someone who is doing something good for his own business, but also for the rest of the community and the society. So this could be something I believe very relevant, impactful, both for your own personal development and maybe together with a local organization such as JCI Jakarta, which is so successful and that can be a strategic asset in creating a project that maybe can start locally and then can be a sort of pilot project to be developed in the entire JCI Indonesia, considering that also the national president is watching us. Of course, it's important to be creative, but in JCI we learn to be creative, and most importantly, from my humble point of view, we learn how to be solution providers. Very often people ask me, how comes you found the solution for these things or these other things? And I always reply, because I'm a JCI member. Actually, okay, I must confess it, although I'm a lady, I am over 40. Of course, you have my bio in your hand, but I'm also a life member of this organization because I served as JCI president. So I always consider myself at disposal of this organization. And I can assure you that even after 40, you go on learning in this organization. Although, of course, this is the moment in which you can be even more active and impactful in certain sector of the society. So whatever you choose to do as a project, I believe is important to have clear in mind the vision of what you are doing. Why are you doing it? Is it aligned with the JCI mission and the JCI vision? And of course, the JCI values stated in our creed that we recited also at the beginning of this meeting. If the answer is yes, it is aligned, go for it. If not, maybe it's better to do one step back and to study it again. I also very enjoyed what President Alexander Theo said before regarding the fact that COVID-19 is not an excuse to avoid to grow as organization, because I always say that having traveled around the world, I learned that there are only, at the very end of the day, only two kinds of persons. The ones who find excuses and the ones who find solutions. Now, if you are a JCI member, you already chose which kind of person to be, and is to be a solution provider, because the words need solution, but when you learn how to find solutions for projects and programs that you are developing, you learn also how to find life. All these aspects, I believe, are very important. And of course, we must be sincere. Very often, women don't reach certain positions in the job field or in the society, not always because men don't want to let them grow, but sometimes simply because, as we mentioned, they have to take care of so many things that they sacrifice their own business or social life for the family. This is why it's so important to learn how to grow all these aspects, and this is also why it's so important to keep in mind that as I mentioned to President Alexander Theo when he got married, I remember I told him what the price that told to me and my husband when we got married. And so that when two people are getting married, they become like two birds with one wing each, and so only together they can fly. The same is for the society. Only if we are able to use our male wing and our female wing, we can fly as community, we can fly as society. And now more than ever, that we have to face the economic crisis, which is not a nice word to use, but it's the truth, okay? We have to face the economic crisis related to the pandemic, apart from the health crisis. We have to fly together to have the economic recovery. So not men against women, but really together. If we learn how to do it in our organization, which is a school of life, then we will be able to do it also in our own business, in our community, and hopefully in our family. All these things, I believe, are crucial. And as President, again, Alexander Theo mentioned before, I really appreciated the fact that when he was elected JCI president, he chose as color of the year pink for women, pink for men and blue for women. Because I remember when he was running as candidate, of course, I asked him a question regarding women empowerment, which I usually do. And even today, after his presidency, he's replying me through facts regarding his action. But I also the color of your ear. And I remember he replied me, well, usually the apple never falls far from the tree. And in 2013, the color of the ear was strong pink, a sort of fuchsia, which I didn't choose, although everybody thought I chose it. It was chosen by an online pool through members, and members voted for fuchsia for 2013. 2013, and that was a strong signal. And at that time, you know, not everybody enjoyed it. Many people thought I chose it. Many people thought that maybe it was better another color. I remember someone told me that I was embarrassing male members, male board of director members, by obliging them to wear a pink, strong pink t-shirt. Of course, I never oblige anybody to wear anything, but when few years later, a JCI president coming from Asia decided to choose pink for men and blue for women, he gave a strong signal to the world that hand in hand we can make it happen. So legacy is another very important aspect that you learn in JCI. I always say that time is a gentleman, and it's just some years after your presidency, after your terms of office in whatever position in JCI, that you can really evaluate the impact of what you do, of what you did during your terms of office, as well as you can see if someone was really, truly a president at local, national, or international level the year after his presidency, when the lights are no more on him or her. Does he or she continue to serve this organization in the same way, with the same passion, or not? You see, President Alex is founding a new local organization. This is commitment, because actions, I'm a journalist, and I learned that actions speak more than words, pretty always. This is what makes you different. So very often, while developing projects in JCI or programs, you don't really understand why you are doing it. You are facing challenging, you are under stress because you have from this project, especially in this challenging time for the world when everybody needs more money. So you are wondering maybe, why am I doing it? But then a few years later, you understand what you learned through facing this challenging. When I joined JCI, I was a very young, very young journalist writing for the local newspaper. And I remember they asked me to be the master of ceremony together with a national president of JCI Italy at that time, whom was a very charming and brilliant man. And they told me, of course, you're able to write, you will be able to speak. Of course, it's not the same at all. You can be great in writing, but not be able to speak in public. And they just launched me on the stage to do these things with him. Well, few months later, I was working in the TV as anchorwoman of the news, and I can assure you, I'm sure I was not able to do such a things without experience in JCI, which put me really out of my comfort zone. And the first time in which I entered in the TV station where I went to work after a few months was with the national president of JCI Italy, to help him, to assist him with the press, because I was a journalist, you know. And so I introduced him to my colleagues in the TV for an interview. And in this moment, maybe they realized, why don't we invite her to join us? At that time, I didn't do it for myself. I did it for him, to provide him an opportunity to talk about JCI in the TV. But at the same time, without knowing it, without understanding it, I provided myself a great opportunity. And you know what? Nowadays, that gentleman who was at that time the national president of JCI Italy, coming from my same local organization, nowadays he is the president of the Chamber of Commerce of our province. So in life, you can never know what it happens. Very often nowadays, I meet people that I met maybe because we gave him or her an award as one of the 10 outstanding persons of our area, and now they reach very important positions in the society. And when we talk to each other, we immediately understand, and it's easy for us to collaborate because we know we have the same values, the same vision regarding life. So really, they asked me to talk half an hour, but I can talk you opportunities that JCI provides you in terms of growth, but never forget that the two things must be related. Your personal development must be together with the development of your local or national or our international organization, because when our organization grow, the members of our organization grow, and vice versa. So the two things are bounded, are related. And this is something really to keep in mind. And then, of course, if you can do something to allow more women to join our organization, considering that we are talking about the half of the world population, and I'm pretty sure statistics are not different also in Indonesia, that could be great. And that means maybe sometimes to do meetings which are family friendly, because nowadays, if you can bring your family with you, it's easier to spend your time and your energies also in an organization. So maybe this could be also another little suggestion. I cannot give advice, I can just share experience and give a suggestion. Another suggestion, try to organize meetings that are family friendly, because this is something that will help everybody to feel welcome, will make also the other members of the family understanding why you are doing it, and this will make your life easier, and will also provide more opportunities to our ladies, which at the end of the day means to provide more opportunity to the entire organization to grow. I hope I give you some thoughts on which you can think about. Now, if you wish, we can start with some questions from our great Master of Ceremony, and after from the rest of members that are with us.
Thank you so much, Chiara Milani, for tell us the story, your experience. And we would like to ask you the question, like two questions from myself and the rest from our audience. So the first line that I would like to ask you, what best experience that you've been through at JCI organization when you get into JCI as a president? And I heard also in that article that when you are as a president, the member increased by 30%. So how you can manage that much member visit our organization?
Well, actually, if you ask me which is the best experience, is when they ask me which is your favorite country. Very tough to say, because every country as well as every experience is pretty unique, and you can find a great aspect in each and every of them if you are able really to look at them with open mind. And open-mindedness is something that JCI provides us all. Regarding the growth of 30% in membership, it is of course related to many facts. First of all, I don't want to take all the credits regarding it because it was a teamwork. And this is a key, okay, teamwork. Of course, I was the leader of the team, but without the team, it was absolutely not possible. And I'm not saying it just because it's something I'm supposed to say, because they're not hearing us, okay? I'm telling you the truth. Of course, being a leader is a blessing, but it's also a challenge. Why? Because, you know, a true leader is someone who is able to see things that others cannot see yet. And he or she must make them see the things. It's like in a cloud day, you know, cloudy day, when you say, you know, over the clouds, there's the sun. And people can just see the clouds and they tell you it's impossible. Everything is gray. There's no sun. There's no light. But you know there's the sun. And so the challenge is to be able to involve the others, to make them see what you see. And this is something tough to do. But don't forget that enthusiasm is contagious as well as depression is contagious. If you are the first one who don't really believe in what is doing, nobody else will believe in it. You know?
Correct.
I remember traveling around the world as president, people told me, oh, you're so passionate regarding JCI. And I told them, of course, if I don't believe in it, who else on earth can believe in it, you know? So this is something very important. And also I always say, you know, during the day, the leader, the president, at whatever level, local, national, international, is surrounded by many people. But by night, he or she is alone with his or her thoughts. And this is something that whoever had the responsibility of leading a company or an NGO or a family or whatever knows. So what is important is when you wake up in the morning to know whom you can call. This is crucial, you know, the one that you can trust, the one that is possible. But again, don't forget at that time in 2009, when I was national president, we were in the middle of an economic crisis because in 2008, there was the financial economic crisis. If you remember, you're very young, but maybe you can remember. And so our country was really hit by this crisis exactly as it is nowadays. Nowadays is even a bit more challenging because of many reasons, but it was a tough moment from an economic point of view. And I remember I told them exactly what President Alexander Tio told you. You know, this is not an excuse for us to fail as a board of directors. No, this is an opportunity because now more than ever, young people in our country need to provide themselves with opportunities to overcome this moment exactly as it is now in 2020. We need to provide ourselves with opportunities to overcome this challenging moment. So now more than ever, JCI is needed. And when you go out and talk to people, that's what you should explain. This is the moment in which you must provide yourself an opportunity. And by providing yourself an opportunity, you will provide to your community and your country and the entire world an opportunity. This is the moment. This is something important, in my humble opinion, to keep in mind. Of course, let me add a little things. Sometimes, as a leader, as I mentioned, you see things that others cannot see yet. I told you regarding my experience as national president. Let me tell you something also regarding my experience as JCI president. In 2013, of course, we had a plan of action as everybody, but let's say the leading theme was individual social responsibility. At that time, someone thought that we were putting individual social responsibility against corporate social responsibility, you know. And I remember, I said, no, the two things must be together. Individual social responsibility is absolutely fundamental, because if you don't have it, you cannot grow even companies, you cannot grow anything. So no matter which is your position in the society, we all need individual social responsibility. Well, nowadays, with what is happening in the world, we know how much individual social responsibility is crucial, you know, because we need to wear a mask. I have my mask here with me, you see, and maybe gloves, and keep the distance, you know, the physical distance. And if this is something that everybody does, we can overcome the pandemic. It was not something so clear to everybody, so it was not easy, you know. But you know what? Just before doing this meeting, I searched on YouTube, JCI channel on YouTube. And you know what I noticed? That the video, the JCI video, which still 7 years later have more views, is the video done in 2013 regarding individual social responsibility, which was a video that was made by members of JCI in Asia, which had just corporate, organic, views. We didn't pay, you know, to advertise it on YouTube. But till nowadays is the video that had more views. Why? Because it was relevant. And nowadays we have the proof, but at that time it was not so easy to realize it. So this is also something important. Keep in mind the vision sometimes is a long-term vision. We need short-term, medium-term, and long-term vision, all of them, to make it happen. I hope I replied.
Wow, that's nice. So that's the best experience in 2009. It's very difficult time, right? So we had also difficult time today, and yeah, we're hoping that our JCI Femme will be create more members. And also from our audience, they like to ask a question. It's about okay, were there any hardship in the past that you had to face when you climb up as president, or maybe in your professional career, because you are a woman? That's the question from Aki Pratomodono.
Of course, as I told you, I'm used to say the truth because I'm a communicator, and I know that really when you don't say the truth, sooner or later people will discover it, and you know, it's not something wise to do. Of course, it goes without saying, yes, I faced challenges. As you mentioned, I was the third woman elected president in JCI. In 1 year, we were just 3, then there was another one. And so it was something, let's say, unusual. But the truth is that I never asked for any position, which is something I believe is important to underline nowadays, because I'm very, very happy when I see so many to serve as president, but I really never ask. If you really love this organization, if you really do your best for this organization, I always say somehow, somewhere, someone will notice something and will give you one chance. Maybe just one opportunity, but you will have your opportunity, no matter if you are a man or a woman. But it's important to be respectful, you know, not to be arrogant. not to pretend things. I never pretended anything in this organization. I just always tried to serve at best of my ability. And because I was a woman, so I honestly was not supposed to become president, even because I was not coming from a big national organization with plenty of members, plenty of money, and we were struggling an economic crisis. Really, I was just serving at best of my ability. And the opportunity came. I didn't ask to serve as vice president, EVP or president, but I was always asked first by members who encouraged really me to run for certain position. Italy never had an executive vice president of JCI before me, and of course not the president, so it was something really we couldn't not even dream, but I was encouraged by fellow JCI members. And when I was elected, I remember, yes, I faced some challenges, but I must say one thing. Very often you find this sort of, I don't want to say discrimination, let's say of challenges, where you are not expecting to find them. I mean, in some countries where because of cultural, historical, or religious reason, you can expect maybe that for a woman leader is more challenging, I always found plenty of respect. Maybe because we were both ready mentally to face, this situation. In other countries where women are supposed to be in very good positions, where there should not be gender discrimination, there is where, not in front, but in the back, sometimes you find this sort of challenging, which was a pity actually, because it was something, I was not expecting to face. And the same is professionally. Very, very often it happens and women don't say it, but I remember when I was a young journalist, once someone told me, you could be perfect for this position, but we will choose another candidate. And I'm telling you frankly, because you are a lady, you will have a family, you will have kids, and we want someone who is 100% dedicated to the company, which is funny enough, because actually to be able, as women, let me say, make you even more efficient in your company. It's not a matter of quantity time, but of quality time. Because if we talk about quantity time, frankly speaking, of course, for women it's tough, but we talk about quality time. So the results that you achieve, you can achieve them in 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. Doesn't matter. Let's talk about the result. If we talk about the result, then we will realize that very often women, I don't want to be are better than men, no, but are as good as men in achieving a result, maybe in a different way. Well, nowadays smart working is more usual in many countries because of course, of the lockdown. And I believe this could be an opportunity for many women, as well as we are facing challenging because of the pandemic. Many of us lost their job. In the same time, I can tell you, smart working, if it's really smart and it's not just home working, if it's just more smart working, it can help to prove that women as well as men can achieve results even if they don't stay 24 hours in the office, and if they're doing it while managing also the kids. Before I heard the voice of a kid while speaking, I was very happy, because it means someone, maybe a man, maybe he's a man, is watching us by his office or home with his family around. And this is very good. This is something important. I mean, this is something that should not bother us, but make us happy that we can, in this way, really grow 360 degrees.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Kiara. Is there any question from anyone in here? Everyone?
Okay. Past President Kiara, can I ask you something?
Please, my friend.
Yeah, as a woman, leaders, and also we have family, we have husband, we have child. So in Indonesia, we also have a problem. Actually, in our JCI Femme members, some women cannot get the permission from husband because the husband not support. So can you give tips or maybe what we should talk to our partners to get the permission and support us to active in organization, especially in JCI? Thank you.
I will understand, and if it can make you feel better, Indonesia is not the only country in the world, and trust me, even in Italy, very often this is a challenge. That's why at the beginning I said I was very lucky to have a husband who is a JCI member and nowadays senator, so could understand. But as I mentioned before, one of the key is involvement. So try to activity, try to make them understand why what you are doing is relevant, and also maybe sometimes invite him to put in your shoes. I mean, for sure also your husband has a hobby or is committed in any NGO or in his company very much. What if you tell him that you don't like this? Maybe it's not a matter of giving permission, but it's a matter really to support or not. Nowadays my husband is the president of the traders in our community. He is in the Chamber of Commerce. He is in the National Council of the Traders of Italy. And of course he has his own company. So I would say it's quite easy. And you know what? Very often the other men tell him, how lucky you are. Because Kiara doesn't tell you, don't go out, don't come back late in the night because you have meetings, don't leave us at home because you have to do webinars or whatever. And I always reply, of course, I served as JCI president. I know what it means to have responsibilities. So I believe it's important to understand that what is crucial is mutual support. There will be some times in which ladies will be out of their home or will be, committed for something, and there will be time in which gentlemen will be. It's important to have mutual support because at the end of the day, a happy spouse make easier the life of the other spouse. If you are under stress, if you are frustrated, you cannot really create a nice environment in your family. This is something that I believe is important for our partner to understand, that we need to support each other, to feel realized as human being in order to grow also our family. I know it's not easy, but I'm Italian, and we know very well that Rome was not built in one night. I cannot hear anymore.
Okay, thank you, Kiara, Past President Kiara, for your answer. So it's really helped. So the first thing is we need to communicate with our partners, and we need to have same vision. And our JCI and FEP from Indonesia say like, bring your family, join in JCI.
In Italy, we have plenty of JCI families, and I believe it could be something great also for kids, frankly speaking, because sometimes JCI keep the parents far from them. But if we organize not all events, but some events which are family friendly, where they can join and understand what a great thing it is. In Germany, as example, during the national organization, they organize activities just for kids, sometimes circus. They learn how to do circus activity with other kids from the other part of Germany. or during international events, maybe, I don't know, an English class. So they are together with children and kids from other parts of the world, and they become friends with them while learning English, which is somehow a common language. So if we are able maybe to do events where there are some activities also for our kids where they can enjoy, then it will be easier for us to explain them, while sometimes we have to sacrifice a bit of time in order to go to JCI events, and maybe when they will grow up, they will join JCI instead of hating it.
Okay, so we have our last question. And we have a same problem, not only woman, but the men also tell us that we have a same problem also with the wife. So it's funny. What you attempt to change a major implementation at GCR organization when you are be president?
Mm-hmm. First, let me a brief comment regarding the fact that men are facing the same challenge. I do agree 100%. Maybe it's not a matter of permission, as I mentioned before, which makes the situation a bit different. But I know how much important it is to have a supportive wife. And I can tell you, I have plenty of friends who are men in the JCI world, and I know how the lady next to them was the key for them to grow or to be obliged to do one step back in their JCI experience. So I agree, and if I can tell them also something regarding this, I believe sometimes maybe women are a bit jealous, okay? It could be, as well as men are, of course, also women can be. Also here, it's important to build trust. As you can imagine, also among JCI presidents, we are just 4 ladies out of more than 100 history. So years of history. I can tell you I never face the challenge of having the wife of one of my fellow JCI presidents jealous of me, because they always understand the president. So they always understood that even when, I'm Italian, so maybe I hug them, but I do it in really a friendly way, like a sister. It's important, I believe, to build this sort of trust. When I served as IPP, 2014 President Shahin Baskaran gave me an award, special recognition of the president for the service, and I know it was his wife to suggest him, because she told him, Chiara always tried to support you at best by providing you the best possible suggestion in the only interest of the organization, and I know it. So, building trust is important. Also, either you are a man or a woman, when you have a JCI position, it's very important. And a way, again, is involving your family. If the other wives know the ones that you are meeting, it's easier for them to trust, because they can really understand you are working on things and you are not just dating. It's important. Regarding your question, I want to be very honest. One of the things I told to the board of directors when we were electing is that just, of course, as well as all the others, we have a plan of action. It was also the year of the strategic planning committee, so a very important year. But I told them we have a further challenge, which is absolutely unique. We are the first board of directors of Junior Chamber International made up of half men and half women. It never happened before, and so far it never happened after. So it's not just a matter of myself as being a woman president, but of us as a team it's our responsibility to show to the world that men and women can work together to make this organization better. If we fail, it's not just a matter of me of failing, but if we fail, we have the responsibility to fail for future generations. While if we are able to show to the world that we can work together to make this organization better, we will provide opportunities to the next generations. That's the reason why after 4 years, JCI elected another woman, which was something rare because there was 12 years between the first and the second woman, and 12 years between the second and the third one. So just 4 years was not so much. And that was something important. And I said, it doesn't matter, of course, it's not up to me to choose which one, but it's important that we have one, because it means we prove that a woman with support. This is why I hope we will go on through this street considering what President Alexander Teo did. His signal, as I mentioned, to choose both pink and light blue as colors for his team was in this direction and was part of our. I hope you can watch me and listen to me. I lost your face. I can hear some voices, but I cannot watch you anymore.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you so much, Chiara Milani, for today. Now we're gonna close this event, and thank you for your attention, for giving me a chance today, and thank you for Chiara Milani to give the time, and everyone that gave time to join this event. And don't forget to follow our Instagram at jci.fame and at JCI Jayakarta untuk di follow. So to know more further information about our next event, you can take a look in that Instagram IG. Thank you so much, everyone. And now it's time for us to get a photo session. Okay, Sia.
Okay, please turn on the video, everyone. Okay. Siapa yang pictures? LT Benny?
Okay, boleh.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get ready. 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Slide 2.
We wait for the next page. Sorry. Okay. Punya gue error nih. Ada yang disambilin nggak?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, LP Benny. Thank you for Istia. Thank you, Chiara Milani. Thank you. Thank you for Jelsi Ralph. Thank you, Pak Willy. Thank you, Pak Aki Pratomondo. Thank you, FVP Lolita. Thank you, Pak Michael Sanjaya. Dan thank you semua udah enjoy di acara kali ini. See you again for our next event. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Presiden Chiara.
Thank you.